Testing. Get it out of here. What's up, people? What's going on? What is up? We're live, yo. We're live. Tim Black's Wolfpack in the building. I'd like to say what's up to my moderator, Buck Bewley, as well as, who's here? I don't know. Ebony and Black Mamba. Give it up for them. They may come through. They may already be here. I don't know. What's happening, people? Hope y'all doing well, man. What's going on? Okay. December 1st. It's the beginning of the end. We're coming down to it. It's about a wrap. About to put the 2025 in the record books in the history. So that's about to happen. And yeah. We're live and direct. Tonight's show is the gaslighting. The whole country, Johnson. And we're going to have a good time discussing that tonight. I want to say what's up to my Wolfpack members, though, man. Thank y'all for being here. Give it up for those folks, man. My people. I want to thank the Wolfpack for coming through and representing, holding it down, being a part of the Tim Black show, the VIP section. These are the people that keep the lights on. We don't have a lot of lights, as you can see. But they kept those on. My people. Buck said they can hear me. That's good. Buck said they can see me too this time. I love you, Buck. Now, we got things to discuss today, of course. I feel good. You feel good? How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling all right? All right, good. Because I want to change your mindset a little bit about how things are going in the country. I want you to look at things from a different vantage point. Hopefully we can accomplish that today. Anybody new to the show, I want you to know we are a U.S. politics-based show. That's what we do. Black culture. We do breaking news. We do U.S. politics. We pride ourselves on not rooting for either one of these political parties. That's important that you know that, because you may be a Democrat. How long have you had this problem? Let me help you resolve it. You may hear me say things about Trump that need to be said. You will hear that. So I don't want you to believe for a second that I'm rooting for you, because I'm not. I'm rooting for us. Now, if you're a Republican, same thing goes. I hope that you understand, just because you hear me talk about the Democrats, that does that mean I think you're the good guys. Or that your party's the good guy. Yeah, that your party's the good guy. Because it's not. If your party really were the good guy, some corrupt billionaire would have already gotten rid of you. You know, already died last season. You understand? So I have to jump into the headspace of these people and shake them because they're delusional, you know. Here on the Tim Black Show, we do this Sunday, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 9:30 p.m. Today I'm running late. It's my bad. Because you know, it's just what it is. Reasons, no one cares the reasons. My dog died. I hurt my foot. I stubbed my toe. You know, I was coming up the steps the other day, and my knee was like, look, I've been meaning to talk to you, Tim. I think I'm gonna quit. I was like, what the hell? Like in the halfway up the staircase, it was just like, yeah, man, I would have attended. I would have attended my resignation. I'm just gonna walk the fuck out. Yeah, I'm leaving. No 30 days notice, no 2 weeks notice. You know what I'm saying? I'm really disappointed in my knee. You know what I'm saying? It's very disrespectful to do that. We had an agreement. I've been living up to my job. You know, I've been living up to what I was supposed to do. I wash it. I make sure blood gets to it. I feed it. You know what I'm saying? Grandkids have sat on this knee. You know, play some sports, football, basketball. You know, I've done things. I've exercised this knee. And I've treated it like a knee, you know, like a part of me, because it is. And for that, I get this. I get my knee just basically just said, nah, we're not doing this no more. And that was a very disrespectful thing. It bothered me so much. I said, you know what? I told Mrs. Black, I said, I think my knee is leaving us. I'm not sure. And I said, well, you know, the way my insurance is set up, I'll see how it does tomorrow. Does not do nothing. Let's see what happens. And then the next day, which was yesterday, it was all right. I mean, it wasn't a 30-year-old knee, but it's functional. I don't know, maybe the knee had some bad advice it got from somebody, did some drinking, hanging out on the corners, hanging out in bars with unclean women's knees, and, you know, one hanging out with the guys and got bad advice. You know how guys give you bad advice over liquor and drinks and smoking. Everybody want to get philosophical. And it, you know, and it just took that bad advice. I think it's come to its senses. These things happen as you get older, by the way. You know, I see a lot of young people talking shit about old people. You do realize you joined the club at some point. If you're lucky. If you're lucky. You get to become the butt of jokes if you live long enough. Good luck with that. Yeah. People's criticism sometimes of me doesn't even begin with my politics. It starts with my looks, my age, shit like that. And I got all this material. I got over 5,000 videos you could roast. But instead you go right to me and it's funny. Luckily for me, I'm very comfortable in who I am. And I don't give a shit. I just pointed out that it's kind of lame. When you got all this commentary you can get at. We've been doing our thing here on the Tim Black Show, and we're having a good time doing it, exposing and roasting here. We are the most dangerous show in America. I was going to put political show, then I figured, if you're going to go hard, go hard. Someone said, Tim, the most realest show in America. I thought about realest. And I thought danger was better. Yeah, I was like really walking the line. I was like, I didn't know if realist, I was going to go with realist or the most dangerous. And I think most dangerous is just more exciting. Because everybody think they real. You know, except for like Joy Reid, Don Lemon, Rachel Maddow, those people. I think they realize they're not real. But they tell their audience that they are. That's funny, right? That's funny how they do that. Wow, man. It's like you're supposed to get currency when you keep it real in this culture that we're in. That's what it's supposed to be. The more real you are, you know, you're supposed to get more credibility if you're more real. And from what I'm seeing out of these people, most people, man, they're not real at all, yo. They're podcasters who say things for a fact. They're not built like that, you know? And then we're not even going to talk about the corporations, the company men and women. We at this day and age, man, 2025, as much as we know about corruption and money and the power of the billionaires and the millionaires, as much as we know about the government organizations and the non-government organizations, all we know about all this shit, about how dirty it is, because when we were kids, we didn't pay attention to that. But when, you know, my audience are grown people, how could you possibly be listening to corporate media talking heads and being like, they be dropping bombs, they be telling the truth? I mean, you're a smart person. When you go into a department store and you ask them some stuff, you know, they're gonna try to sell you the shit that's in the store. That's what they do. You expect the worker at Target to try to sell you Target items. Well, I don't know where you shop. You're not supposed to shop at Target if you're black, they say. Now, if you're white, you can shop there all day. I haven't seen a single white person talk about boycotting Target. Boy, we always get to carried away. And now we're boycotting Target because of DEI, but I haven't seen a single non-black person even talk about that shit. And I'm on the internet for a living, Johnson. Anyway, that's funny. That's funny. You'd almost think DEI helped us, primarily. Oh, I gotta go over here and bail this cotton for massa. Make sure Miss Annie is fine. Make sure she's fine. But yeah, we gotta do a better job with that stuff. That stuff, man. Y'all okay, man? Everybody okay? I'm okay. You know, it's just been one of those days, Johnson. You know, so most dangerous show, not Marilla's show, most dangerous show. But if you're walking around believing that CNBC or NBC or ABC or CBS, this is a truth teller. You know, if you believe that, let me help you out a little bit. The yellow snow is not lemonade, because obviously you fall for anything. You know what I'm saying? And if an old man goes up to you and says, pull my finger, don't pull it. Dumb. Don't pull it. And chicken butt's not a real thing. My 3-year-old daughter, man, she's saying that. It's so funny. You haven't arrived until your 3-year-old calls you chicken butt. Several times a day. Keeps you young at heart. And I say back to her, I say, stop calling me chicken butt. You chicken butt. And then the other one is big back. The chicken butt, big back. Chicken butt, big back. Nadia, that's her name. Her name is Nadia, and she's amazing. Her birthday's coming up real soon. And send money, because these kids are expensive. Yeah, man. So look, let's tune into some politics. Let's jump off the ledge here. Let's go ahead and kick them in the stomach with some truth bombs here. You're watching the Tim Black Show, the most dangerous show in America. I got my dynamic hosts. Well, they're not hosts. My dynamic moderators. I'm the host. I'm sorry. I got my fantastic moderators, Ebony, Black Mamba, and Buck Bewley. Buck's been around for 100 years. Buck, Buck and Tim Black Wolfpack, man. I remember when they made me a birthday thing, and it was 10 years ago. They made me a birthday plaque. Yeah, man. Was it? I think it was 10 years ago. I forget. It was a long time ago. Those are the good old days, fam. So yeah, Buck Bewley's been my moderator. He's been a part of the Tim Black Show, helping out in different ways. I think Buck doesn't like real people. I think that's what it is. I think Buck is one of those people that in real life, he just hates everyone. You know, but online, he can put up with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I really don't know. I mean, so tonight, folks, we're going to kick it. Tonight's title, The Gaslighting Everyone. We're going to start off with a story that's going to tell you exactly why I picked that title tonight when you watch this shit. This will be a dumpster dive. Anybody ever went dumpster diving? I went dumpster diving when I was a kid. I used to do dumpster diving with the mom. And tell them about the dumpster diving. We used to do dumpster diving. Oh man, because we were like Fred Sanford and Son. Yeah, man, we used to fix up other people's junk. And then we go to different places. We go to like auctions, we do sales, we did what's that, flea markets, and all that stuff, man. My mom making money on the weekends, bro. She was hustling. She was flipping before Gary V was a thing. Yeah, I grew up doing that. Ever since I was like 7, my mom be like, we'd just be driving down the street randomly. She'd see something on the side of the road. She'd pull the car over and be like, Tim, jump out and get that. And now where we was at? You know what I'm saying? Tim, jump out and get that. I could be a whole bunch of my friends could be standing in front of it. All my classmates. And she had me jump out the car and right in front of them get something out the garbage, like that their parents had put out on the curb. And walk over. Hi, Rod. How you doing, man? Just digging through your garbage to get this thing that's broke. That my mom just told me to get. See you in school tomorrow where you'll be making fun of me. Bye. Looking back, those are good times. Good times. Good times. Okay, guys, let's do it. Let's get into the content, Tim. Shout out to my mom. My mom is amazing. I love her very much. You say hello. Love your moms. No silver spoons over here. No silver spoons, but lots of love. All right, guys, let's do it. I'm down, you down, let's roll. Where we at, fam? Can anybody relate to my stories? Any of those stories ring true for anybody? Put them in the comment section, fam. I'd like to know I'm not alone. What embarrassing thing did your mom used to have you do? I don't want to be the only one.
Well, speaking of the Somali community, President Trump is targeting them and your state in part. He's citing fraud as the reason for his crackdown. Dozens of people of East African descent have been charged, convicted, and sentenced for stealing more than $1 billion in taxpayer money from government programs during COVID. As you know, Governor, that is more than Minnesota spends each year to run its Department of Corrections. So I want to give you a chance to respond to this. Do you take responsibility for failing to stop this fraud in your state?
Well, certainly I take responsibility for putting people in jail. Governors don't get to just talk theoretically. We have to solve problems. And I will note, it's not just Somalis. Minnesota is a generous state. Minnesota is a prosperous state, a well-run state. We're AAA bond rated, but that attracts criminals. There's a reason Minnesota ranks as the top. Lowest childhood poverty, best place for children to live. People are taking advantage of that. They're going to prison. That is totally disconnected with demonizing an entire group of people who came here fleeing civil war and created a vibrant community that makes Minnesota and this country better. But that's Donald Trump. Deflect, demonize, come up with no solutions. He's not going to help fix anything on fraud. My God, there's a big difference between fraud and corruption is something he knows about.
And before we move on, Johnson. Before we move on, let the gaslighting commence. You mean to tell me this guy sitting here he's gonna, y'all let him get away with doing that? $1 billion, fam. The people in Minnesota have been having their tax dollars scammed out by Somali refugees, asylum seekers, or whatever this is. And they got a very elaborate network of ways they were stealing. And his response to, hey, you're going to take responsibility for falling down on the job about stopping these Somalis from doing this shit? And his thing is to blame Trump? I don't know. It's a thing, man, where that's all they got. It's Trump blame. Trump didn't have anything to do with this. He criticized it, but he had nothing to do with it. So let me get this right, fam. And I think I'm on safe ground here to say nobody likes being robbed. Nobody likes it. It's fine. You're a Democrat, Tim Walz, but it's okay not to like people robbing your state. You can be mad at them. It doesn't make you a bad progressive. That's why I never buy into it, man. That's why I reject that progressive shit. It's bogus, it's bullshit. You know, Tim Walzy, when he found out them people stole all that money, he was that nice. Yeah, I don't believe for a second. When he found out that he was just like, oh, I'm just a knucklehead. Now, I think he was pissed off. In fact, if he wasn't pissed off, I think he was in on it. You're supposed to be pissed off when people rob you, Tim. Act like you're pissed off if you're not. Because if you're not pissed off, that means you don't give a shit. It means you don't care about your state being robbed. This money didn't come out of the blue. This is taxpayer money. People worked hard, paid their damn taxes with a gun to their head for these shit programs you got going on in Minnesota. And that's why you really have all these people coming to Minnesota. Free ride, asshole. That's really what it is. Let's just keep it real. That's what it is. Who else wants to live there? Prince is gone, nigga. That's why I can't trust the progressive liberal people, man. They can't keep it real about anything. So instead of like addressing this issue, instead of owning up to it, instead of hitting it head on, instead what we get is deflection and him protecting the thieves from being called Somalis. No, that's the people. Fam, They're the ones who did it. Somebody else did it, we be saying them. Like, if it was if it was a bunch of Venezuelans or if it was a bunch of Ukrainians, I'd be saying a bunch of Ukrainians. You know what I'm saying? I'd be saying that. If it was a bunch of white South Africans, I'd be blaming Elon, and I'd be saying a bunch of white South Africans. Now, I know there's some people out there that would only say it because it's Somalians, because they're racist, but I'm not. I'm saying it because they're thieves. And while they're having this conversation, they're going to make it about everything except the money. How they were able to get away with this for so long with so much money under the nose of everybody. And Walls would not sign the paperwork to have them investigated a year ago or 2 years ago. This shit been going on since COVID. Folks, this shit went on since COVID. And there was red flags, and Walls didn't want to pursue him because he didn't want to seem racist. So the people of Minnesota got their pockets picked because Timmy doesn't want to seem like a guy who like would stand up for them. And that's the thing. When you stand up to thieves, you're standing up for, as a governor, you're standing up for all your citizens. But see, that's the thing, fam. I guess since they come from, they're asylum seekers or whatever, you don't expect them to steal. But yeah, anybody can steal, Johnson. Crippled people, kids, it doesn't matter. Christians, Muslims, Italians, it doesn't matter. Let's keep going, fam. Timmy doesn't know how the world works. In comes Trump.
Thing on fraud. My God, there's a big difference between fraud and corruption is something he knows about.
On top of that, in that same post, you mentioned Tim Walz, and you called him what many Americans do find an offensive word, retarded. Do you stand by that claim of calling Tim Walz retarded?
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with him. Absolutely, sure.
You don't think that
you have a problem with it? You know what? I think there's something wrong with him. Anybody that would do what he did, anybody that would allow those people into his state and pay billions of dollars out to Somalia. We give billions of dollars to Somalia. It's not even a country because it doesn't function like a country. It's got a name, but it doesn't function like a country. Yeah, there's something wrong with Walz.
Mr. President, you said...
I do, before we move on, want to give you a chance to respond to something else that the president said. He said that Congresswoman Ilhan Omar probably came to the U.S. illegally, mocked the hijab that she wears, and he called your governor, quote, retarded.
Really, Johnson? Really, that's what we're doing. That's what it's all about, fam. This is a conversation they're having right now. Not about the billions. No, not about the billions of dollars taken out of people's pockets. I don't know who lives in Minnesota. I'm sure some good people live in Minnesota. And I'm sure many of them did not give their money, their taxpayer money up, that they had to. Remember, taxes are not freely given. If you don't pay taxes, your ass go to jail. So people are forced to give taxes up. I got a feeling most of those people did not expect that money to go to a bunch of Somalis who weren't in the country 2 seconds. To be stolen. And instead of talking about that, because that is embarrassing, that is no excuse. Everybody fed on the job. A lot of people are responsible for it. And those people are Democrats because it's a Democratic governor. Right? And instead of addressing that, instead we're going to make it about Trump saying the word retarded. I get why people don't like the word, and that's fine if you don't want to use it. But let's stop acting like it's, like it destroys lives. It's an equal opportunity offensive word. It's like calling someone dumb or stupid. In my opinion, it's just a regular fucking word. Now, if someone's actually been clinically diagnosed as having a learning disability, that would be different. Because, yeah, that would be different then. Maybe then you could say, hey, that was insensitive. But Trump calls people all types of things. Most Americans call people names. Why are we getting gaslit over this? But anyway, back to this. People wanted this one, the Klobuchar, crowbar jar. They wanted her to run for president. And she did run, didn't she, for like 2 seconds? I think Bill Maher used to sleep with her back when he was still dating white women. Something was going on, because he had her on the show a lot, like he was trying to help her get elected. She is a word salady, uninteresting person. You know what I'm saying? She makes Kamala Harris seem like charismatic person of the year. Yeah, real talk, guys. Klobuchar sucks. She only became popular by riding a wave of I think it was a child got shot in Minnesota. And she was like, we're going to prosecute and we're going to find out the person who did this. I think that's why. And it turns out she got the wrong person or something. And she never walked it back or something. She basically got elected riding black pain and villainizing a black kid. That's how she got that office. That's it. But of course, Bill Maher and the rest of the world don't give a shit about that. The Democrats didn't care. But anyway, back to this. Let's listen to what Klobuchar has to say about Trump being mean.
These words shouldn't even be repeated by anyone, much less a president of the United States. Again, he goes after people because they look different than him. He goes after our governor and uses a slur that, by the way, has now led a legislator.
That was a dumb statement, wasn't it? He goes after people who look different than him. Everybody looks different than Trump. Everyone looks different than you too. We're all individuals. We all look different. Dumb. Listen. He's calling out Tim Walz because they've been beefing for 2 years. Tim Walz said a lot of shit about him on the campaign trail. That's why. He goes against people that have been talking shit about him. That's what people do. This idea that, I'm not saying it's good, I'm not saying it should, but let's stop acting like it's just anybody randomly, he just, look over there, let's get this guy. Sometimes at rallies, but that's for stand-up comedy, that Rife guy, Adam, what's his name, Rife? The guy that does the road work, the crowd work. That's all he's doing, man. He's doing crowd work. Klobuchar is not doing well so far.
In Indiana, who has a kid with disabilities, to say that he's not going to vote with him on the redistricting vote in Indiana. These are the kinds of things he does.
Man, if you don't vote for somebody who's going to make your life better, or if you say, I'm not voting for you because you used a word I didn't like, then it's not a racial slur? Hell, I don't know. Maybe you're too dumb to exist. Unless you're saying you don't like him at all, his politics sucks, and he wasn't, his policies weren't going to help you. If his policies weren't going to help you, fuck him. Right? That's how I feel. If your policies aren't going to help my life, if it doesn't help my community's life, it doesn't help my folks, then I don't give a shit what you say. I wouldn't vote for you. You get what I'm saying? Grow up. Yeah, grow up. That's it. Stop being so gaslit that you are not grown up. These people are children, all right? Just say, hey, I wasn't going to vote for the guy anyway. I don't like the guy anyway. Because if that's your deciding factor, your ass don't have no problems. Yeah, if you can decide Well, I'm not going to eat that because I don't like the napkins. Well, you ass is a fool. You have a full stomach. Because people that are hungry will say, fuck them napkins. I can eat this table. Give me that food. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, we have these like progressive people that don't have real problems. Yeah, we're getting into it now, aren't we? This is what you came to see. So we got these people, these progressive people that don't have real life problems. Not really, they don't. They hear about problems and they put them on a scale. And they try to determine which of the problems that aren't theirs that they could be the most outraged for this week, that will be popular, that they can virtue signal over. I'm upset today about this thing that happened. Look what's happening in Venezuela. What is Trump doing to the boats? Oh, look over here. Oh, it's Somalia. Oh my God, what's happening? I was appalled by what I saw. Or maybe it was this over here. Oh God, Congo. Oh. They moved on from Gaza and Ukraine. You know, Russia's still bombing the shit out of Ukraine right now. They quiet. See what I'm saying? They got bored. They played with it a little while. Ooh, Ukraine, look. Ooh, look at Ukraine. Ooh, let's be upset. Let's be outraged. Yeah, like a kid 2 days after Christmas. They ain't played with that shit 2 days. At 2 days, they're done with it. Yeah, man, if you, the progressives and the liberals, they do this now. I don't know if conservatives do it. Seems like conservatives just kind of go for being gaslit and butthurt every 2 seconds about something, or to the next thing they're upset and boycotting. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking particularly about the progressives because I know a lot about them. A lot of them came on the show. They just jumped from gaslit moment to gaslit moment. They don't really have problems. So they live vicariously through the problems of others. And they will build a mountain out of a molehill. Folks, all I'm saying is if you can decide not to rock with a particular politician, not to support them, if either you don't have a problem in your life, right? If you can make that choice based on something that's frivolous, as the word they said about somebody they don't like. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because America rocked with the Kennedys and they was drug dealers, bootleggers, thieves, right? And they became Camelot. See, America doesn't really give a... Stop acting like we're from this country that lives up to something. It doesn't. This is a country that had kids losing their arms in factories. Literal 8, 9, 10-year-old kids working in factories, losing arms and legs and shit. It's a country where these are white kids. Black kids were used out in the fields this way. Okay? Country where white men, and they tried to form a union, they got beat to death with baseball bats. The white guys. So you know what they was doing to the blacks. So let's stop pretending that America's like this, you know, this mythical thing. Oh, no. No, it's not. And that's the problem I got with the progressives and the liberals. And Klobuchar, she's exposing it, even though I know she doesn't know that. But she is. She's exposing the underbelly. Look, Dana's literally going to sleep listening to Klobuchar makeup shit. Is her name Dana or Donna or Dina? I don't know.
And they try to tear people apart, but as we saw from the midterm elections, it's not working. People look at their grocery bills, they know who to blame. They don't want to see the chaos. They don't want to see the corruption. They mourn for the loss of this National Guard member, but they do not believe you should use it to turn away 24 million people who are already in this country, who are naturalized citizens.
Whoa, I reject that. I reject that shit, man. Nah, man, vet those people. You should have vetted them to begin with.
The president has a unique ability to take us to the lowest common denominator all the time. And I must tell you, for him to attack people with disabilities.
Hold on a second here. That's an important statement. Before he gets to the other shit, he said the president, and this is a core argument, guys. It may seem trivial, but walk with me here, fam. Check this out. It may seem like nothing, but really, that's part of the problem. Trump isn't taking us to the lowest common denominator. Media is. Man, if they weren't making money off this shit, do you think we'd be hearing about it? It's an ecosystem. It runs off money. Trump is a moneymaker for the industry. He has revitalized and kept the news newsworthy. Media is the one that latches on to these problems, latches on to these words. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it fall, who gives a shit? And they can treat Trump's tweets and Trump saying someone's a retard or whatever. He could treat it like nothing and not report on it. But you can't walk away from the casino. You can't walk away. You gotta try to get the winnings. You gotta try to get the number to come up. You need to leave. You're a degenerate. But you gotta bet on the horse. This could be my big shot. I could win it all back. That's the media 24/7, 365, fam. That's the real deal. But see, Shapiro, or Timu Obama he's called, Sheen Obama. Shapiro, Governor Shapiro. He can't be bothered to tell the truth. And that is that the Democrats also want to latch onto these things and have something to talk about. Trump has kept the Democratic Party. Remember, man, the Democratic Party is not known for shit. They're only known for opposing Trump. If there was no Trump, there would be no Democrats. They owe their existence to Trump. And every time Trump makes any mistake or says something, it's their opportunity because they have nothing else going for them. They just get to say, see what he's doing? He punched me in the eye and hit me in the head, and my stomach hurts. And that's it. Not what they're going to do for you, not why you're better leaders, not why you're going to make life better for the people. None of that. None of that is part of what the Democrats get to hang their hat on. Only thing they've been holding their hat on is we're not Trump and Trump evil. So, yeah, Shapiro, he can't keep it real. He himself is unreal. He's AI, right? He's a human AI. AI human. But, yeah.
By using that slur is highly offensive, given how here in Pennsylvania, we treat people with all different abilities with the same level of respect.
He says slur. Man, I know some slurs. I know a few slurs people use. We're both, Shapiro's Jewish, and they bombed the shit out of his governor's mansion, and they wrote slurs. Did they write retard on the wall? Not a slur, dum-dum. Not a slur. Just a word like asshole. Yeah, the freaking liberals that made everything third rail. Everything's third rail if it makes someone feel bad. Can't call people fat or dumb or retarded or slow. Oh, no, that makes people feel bad. So now we got a bunch of people, a bunch of mediocre fuckers running around thinking that they're amazing when they're not. Someone needs to put them in their place and let them know they are slow. They are too fat. What stops me? Public pressure stops me in death. I know just so much I can't eat, but so much. Oh, danger zone. You know what I'm saying? And what helps is people. Damn, Tim, you're picking up weight, buddy. That'll slow a guy down. Maybe it doesn't have the impact immediately, but you think about it. Hours later, no, I don't think I'll have the ice cream. Thank you. No sponge cake for me. These are important things to hear in life. They are. Now, once again, if you're someone with a gland issue, then no one's talking to you. Okay? If you got a gland issue, no one's talking to you. So all I'm saying is they're making things that are very, very normal. They're this part of life. People say things. But if they didn't write it on the outside of Governor Shapiro's mansion, then it's not a slur. Okay? Now, we know the slur they use with us, in fact, would not be what that slur I'm talking about. So Democrats took half the dictionary and labeled it slurs. And look, God forbid people get tired of that shit and decide they don't want to be rocking with the Democrats anymore. That's how part of the reason the liberals start losing, because they went too fucking far, man. They went too far with policing everything and making it seem like everyone was the bad guy except for them. So now everybody has to tiptoe and walk on eggshells and don't know how to address one another. And America just got tired of it. You got tired of having to answer the pronouns and don't make jokes and especially our older people, man. Like, I grew up my whole life saying certain words. I'm not gonna stop saying them because you think they're mean. Yes, they're mean. They're supposed to hurt your feelings. And now what we got? We got people beating the shit out of each other because they can't use words. Yeah, you're gonna find out words are good. Words are better than bullets. Words are better than bullets. All right, I think we're almost done. Anything left here? Gaslighting. That's it.
For the last 10 years, Minnesota's Somali community, it's about 100,000 people, mostly in...
Okay, guys. So look, I went so long on that shit, I forgot what we were talking about. This was all about, see, I got distracted. All of this shit, folks, was about the Somalis. The Salamis. They stole a lot of money, folks. Listen to this clip as we find out. This is what the focus was supposed to be about. I'm guilty of it too. See how I got caught up in that shit? This is what it's really about. This clip right here. Shit.
People with all different abilities with the same level of respect.
For the last 10 years, Minnesota's Somali community, it's about 100,000 people, mostly in Minneapolis, a neighborhood called Little Mogadishu, for obvious reasons, has been conducting fraud at an eye-popping scale. I mean, truly extraordinary. We're talking about billions of dollars, billions with a B, that are getting sucked out of taxpayer programs, routed through various fake NGOs into the pockets of Somalis in Minnesota. But one detail that we uncovered, they're actually taking bags of cash, taking them on commercial airplanes out of Seattle, out of Minneapolis, out of other airports, flying this cash to Mogadishu, where it's dispersed through a network of informal money changers. The Al-Shabaab terrorists take a cut. And it's like every government program imaginable, they're setting up these front organizations, autism, social services, feeding the hungry, and they're pulling in, tens of millions, if now not hundreds of millions of dollars a year. And the other kind of dirty secret of this story is that the Minnesota state government, the Democrats who are in charge, Tim Walz and others, have effectively turned a blind eye to this because they don't want to offend the Somalis. They don't want to, earn the accusation of racism, what the Somali activists are very ready and very eager to deploy. And they feel that they need the Somali vote in Minneapolis to win statewide. And I hope that the story will have some impact on the particular level, meaning law enforcement, which has been doing a good job rounding up some of these groups, will extend their efforts, but also opening up these larger questions about immigration, about identity, about who we let into the country, what are our expectations. This should be an obvious one, right? You can't steal billions of dollars from taxpayers. That's like a no.
Yeah, so that's what it's supposed to be about. And meanwhile, everybody got sidetracked on Trump calling one person a retard. All because he let it slide. And it's been letting it slide and slide and slipping and slide. So, it's just gaslighting. And it's in gaslighting with a very particular type of goal. And that goal is not to focus on fucking up. Yeah, they don't want to focus on the fact that the Democrats in Minnesota dropped the ball. And they got robbed. They got caught with their pants down over a long period of time. Over over several years, fam. He said a decade, I don't know. That's a long time. I thought it was since COVID. He said for a decade they've been doing this. So basically they had a scam going on, sort of like the U.S. aid organization here in D.C. that they shut down. I thought there was a court decision they had to reopen it. I don't know. I haven't updated on that story. But you understand what I'm saying here? The whole point is we have a problem. The problem is they gaslight us to get us distracted from the real problem. And they use Trump to do that. And sometimes they do it so well, fam. I'm almost like, is this on purpose? Is this on purpose? So even when they're supposed to be talking about the billions of dollars, they get right on topic of talking about making it about Trump. Trump's perfect, man. He'll say something, they'll use it, and now we're looking the wrong way. Look, guys, a squirrel. And meanwhile, there's a robbery. Billions of dollars going out the back, and you're looking at the squirrel. And not only looking at the squirrel, you're looking at the word he called the squirrel. He called the squirrel retarded. Look. Oh, I'm upset. I'm pissed off. My feelings are hurt. What kind of a president says that? Meanwhile, running over here as the squirrels. Is the people with the money just running with the money. So it's I don't know, man. I think it's too well done. It's too well orchestrated, man. It's like a movie in a week, man. This is like a plot that you wrote down, fam. This is like damn. It's like the movie that Jordan Peele should have made instead of that last shit he made. I heard that last movie sucked. Was it him? I don't know if that was it. Anyway, yeah. Next. All right, guys, look, this is where I remind you that you're watching the most dangerous show in America. I'm your host, Tim Black. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the share button. We're everywhere tonight on X, Kick, Rumble, and Facebook. Of course, we're on YouTube. And tell a friend about the show. Next.
Now, there have been, growing calls for Walz to resign over this. He's not going anywhere, is he? They'd have to carry him out of there in handcuffs for him to leave the governor's mansion.
No, absolutely. And at the end of the day, Laura, not a single bureaucrat has been fired throughout this entire process. We're talking about billions stolen, absolutely zero accountability. If there's going to be any accountability, frankly, the voters of Minnesota are going to have to make that decision in November of 2026. But honestly, just looking at that video there, I just have to laugh because the only lazy individual in this entire process has been Tim Walz himself. This is the man who had the ability to do stop payments through his own Minnesota Department of Education. He had the ability to subpoena the bank records of Feed Our Future. He willingly chose not to. Now, whether you want to say, like, is that complicity or laziness? I'll let the viewer just decide that, because you really could debate either. But also, Minnesota, it's just frankly not a well-run state. We had a $21 billion state surplus at one point. He raised taxes by an additional $9 billion. And now to this day, we're staring down the barrel of a $6 billion deficit going in. And it's incredible. And just to kind of end on that video there, I have to laugh because, you know, the only responsibility I'm going to take at this point is I'm here to lock criminals up. Tim Walz hasn't locked a single damn criminal up this entire process. He sat on his hands all through the 2022 election. I know. I worked on those campaigns. He didn't take any accountability. He had to wait for the feds to step in throughout this process. They ended up locking, but I will give one credit here. The one state case I can recall, there was a $7.2 million Medicare fraud scheme run out of a P.O. box in Hennepin County. The jury did come back unanimous. That was unanimous jury conviction. 4 hours of deliberation, sealed, done, right? Well, no. The judge, who was appointed by a Democrat, Mark Dayton, the former governor before this, took that unanimous jury conviction and they reversed it. So they completely threw it out.
Well,
now.
I mean, it's a disaster if it holds towards the midterm elections. And I should note, of course, it's not alone. I mean, just take a look here. This is Gallup. This is the longest running poll. You know, Gallup has been conducting polls since my father was a kid. And my father was born in 1927, had me in his 60s. Look at this in January. Donald Trump's net approval rating, not too bad, not too great. It was at -1 point, right within the margin of error, breaking even. But look at this now. Negative 24 points, way, way down. We're talking about a drop of over 20 points in the wrong direction for the President of the United States. Minus 24 points, that's a 23-point move in the incorrect direction if you're the president. And of course, what's so important here, Sarah Seidner, is it matches the trend that we've seen with other polls. That is Donald Trump hitting his low for the second term. I was doing the count last night. I think we're up to 10 polls in sort of the last 40 days, 10 different pollsters who have said that Trump is at the lowest point he is in his second term.
So how does this compare to other presidents in their second term at this point in time?
Yeah, okay. So, you know, this is one of these great examples where I kind of run out of room on the slide.
You
so
sure
I just
did.
Yeah, I run out of room on the slide. So I just put up the Republican presidents. But look, the only one who's worse for me, either among Republicans or Democrats at this point in his second term, is Richard Nixon. And of course, Richard Nixon had to wave adios amigos goodbye less than a year after this poll was taken. He was at minus 36 points. Trump at minus 24 points. That beats, or is worse, I should say, beats in the wrong direction. George W. Bush, minus 19 points. His Republican Party, of course, suffered major losses in the 2006 midterm elections. Dwight Eisenhower, plus 31 points. Donald Trump has never smelt that at all. I had to go into the archives to dig up that photo. And Ronald Reagan at plus 41 points. But again, it also is worse than Harry S. Truman. It's worse than Lyndon Baines Johnson. It's worse than Barack Obama. It's worse than Bill Clinton. Anywhere you look, this is the second worst for a president of either party at this point in their second term, dating all the way back since the 1940s.
Wow. All right. Look, what does this mean for the midterms? Because are you seeing a trend that it's linked to how people feel about the president?
Yeah, okay. So, you know, we always say, hey, look, you know, we still got 11 months until the midterm elections. Right. That's forever in politics. So I decided to go back and look at this point in the second term. What happened? What was the trend line heading into the midterm elections? Were there any presidents who saw their net approval ratings rise by more than 5 points? Well, guess what, Sarah Sider? You go all the way back since Harry S. Truman. 0 out of 8 times did the president's net approval rating rise by over 5 points. And of course, Donald Trump, right now in Gallup, minus 24 points. He's in the minus teens according to the average. If he does not see a rise of more than 5 points, see you later, that Republican majority. It has never happened. Of course, we live in such a weird time in politics.
Are in a
Who knows?
weird time.
We live in a weird time, but
are.
he's going to have to break history, Sarah Seidner.
All right, we will have to see, Mr. Harry Enten.
We will see.
But you are breaking the bank. You're looking pretty good today.
I feel pretty gosh darn good, especially after
my
my Buffalo Bills. That defense, that running back, James Cook. My goodness gracious, Josh Allen. Hey, maybe this is the year we go a little.
I threw him the pass, and he went all the way, John.
Beautiful.
Hey, fam. Gaslighting goes both ways. Yeah, gaslighting is very loose that way. Yeah, I know that the Republicans don't seem to be that friendly with the gays or the LGBTQ, but they're definitely going both ways. So they're definitely into bi. Listen, man, they're going both ways when it comes to gaslighting. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Because look, you won't hear a lot of Republicans talking about how shitty Trump's numbers are right now. Yeah, they don't want to admit that any more than they want to admit that Tim Walz sucks. And I was right when I said he's like a creepy guy downstairs that you don't want to leave around the kids. Well, Trump's numbers are low. How low are they? They're so low. You can't get under them. Worst POTUS ratings since the 40s. Damn. Second only to Nixon. I mean, fam, that's what you call stinking up the place. And this is not, look, it's a vanity, right? If he was a regular president, maybe it wouldn't matter. But you know the Democrats are coming to impeach this guy. If the Democrats get the numbers, they will file the articles. It's that guy, Al Green, is already singing about filing those paperworks to start another impeachment proceedings against Trump. And that means we got to sit through that and listen to that bullshit. Nothing's going to happen. But we'll get put through it. We'll get put through the paces. Because money. So how did we get this way? Well, how did Trump get this way? How did it get so bad? Why is it that his people, his numbers are so bad? Now, I don't know how he is with Republicans. That's the other thing. The graph we just saw, I'm assuming that's general. I'm assuming that's what Republicans, Democrats, and Independents. I don't know how he's doing with his base. I can't imagine he's killing it. I think he's probably a little underwater, maybe not as far as 19 points, but maybe -5 to 10. Because what? Well, I don't know what's happening in Gaza. I know the war in Ukraine's still going. He said he was going to end that. Don't promise things unless you know you can deliver on them. Then we have more conflicts going on. Looks like we're going to get into it with Venezuela. That's a new fight. We don't need that. And then we have, of course, the prices that people have. Everyday people have the prices. Prices aren't lower. He was promising everyone's going to, have surplus money. And I know he's talking about giving people a bonus or a severance, not a severance, what's that, a stimulus. He's talking about a stimulus check, but yeah, right. Okay, fine. But that's like a Hail Mary to himself. Yeah, him throwing a stimulus check is like him throwing the ball, running over and trying to catch it. When he was spry and could do so. That's what that is. That's him rescuing himself. That's throwing out his own life preserver and then jumping into the lake. Now, of course, there are other things that Trump did which were not done by the Democrats, but done by himself. Sort of like the Epstein thing. Yeah, man, like, it's kind of gone out the cycle a little bit. It's kind of gone out the cycle, but it's not good. It's not good that Trump appears to everyone, including people that liked him, to be the guy that was standing in the way of the Epstein files being fully released when everybody, him and most of his cabinet, ran on talking points that they needed to be released. And now that they're in charge and in a position to do so, look, I got to respect. You know what? I respect MAGA. Damn it, I'm saying that I respect MAGA for this one reason. For one reason only. And if you don't listen to this, if you don't agree with this, you need to check your ethics. I've been covering politics for a minute, and I can tell you, if Joe Biden ran on doing something and he didn't do it, there would be a lot of Democrats who wouldn't say shit. The vote blue anywho's would not be staging the coup on Joe Biden or on Obama. But MAGA is different. Yeah, because we hear this talk all the time, right, about how the MAGA people are zombies and anything Trump does, they just go along with it. Not this. It's just that you want them to drop Trump for dumb shit like using the word retard or calling someone Porky or Piggy or something. Shut up, Piggy. What is something like that? Like dumb shit. Like very dumb. Like getting rid of a Cadillac because it's got a scratch on the fender. Dumb shit. But at the end of the day, fam, I'm telling you, man, and if I would like to know what your opinion is on it, because I don't see Democrats I wouldn't see them holding their president accountable for shit. I don't care what it was. MAGA's holding Trump responsible for not being true to his word on the Epstein files because that mattered to them. Him using bad language and name calling and shit like that, they don't care. They've been overlooking that. If that was the thing that was going to make a decision between them voting for Trump, they never would have voted for Trump. He been using bad language and been roasting people since 2015. I mean, come on, his whole campaign leading up to 2016 was a stand-up comedy routine where he'd roast everyone. He was giving nicknames to all the politicians. He was doing it before it was funny or sexy, right? And those are not deal breakers for MAGA, but they had a line in the sand. They have a line in the sand that I haven't seen Democrats have. And if you disagree, please put in the comment section what the line in the sand was for the Democrats. Because, fam, I can't find it. So if Trump's numbers are bad, and I believe they are they as bad as this poll says? I don't know. But Gallup is one of the more reliable polls. But you know, it's just a poll, right? But at the end of the day, I think it's true that Trump's numbers have taken a dip for all the reasons we just described. It's relevant because it means impeachment proceedings will come if the midterms go south for the Republicans. The Democrats pick up the majority, we're going to be sitting through some bullshit. It is what it is. It'll just be a way to grab the news cycle because they won't be able to actually get it done because they won't have the Senate. But it'll be enough to top everybody to keep the cameras on bullshit. Let me know what y'all think. Damn it. Okay. All right, family, let's keep it moving. Look, remember, you're watching the most dangerous show on TV. What? The most dangerous show in America, which we were on TV. We should be. Make that happen, universe. Why would I want to be on the thing that no one wants to be on anymore? Yeah, man. Same thing with radio. Why would I want to go be on radio when everybody on radio wants to come be on streaming? I'm already on the platform I need to be on. I just need to reach more people and talk more real shit. And that will bring all the good things. But to help me do that, go to jointimblack.com, become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack, a VIP member of the most dangerous show in America. Let's keep going. I got a couple more stories. I'm kind of excited to see what you're going to think about this next one.
I understand that you're hardline and you say, look, if you supported them, I'm done with you. But if they genuinely have a change of heart, right? And why wouldn't you want to have more people on your side of the aisle?
I think the one thing that's consistent with people that have changed their mind is there was an inherent selfishness they responded to. When something happened to them or somebody that looked like them or somebody they love, then they responded. Had it been happening to anybody else, they wouldn't have cared. So if your motivation is that, you have seen it damage people that you love, that's selfishness. And you voted in a very selfish way.
So you're saying there's no room in politics, there's no room for forgiveness.
What I've learned from Republicans is you draw your circles tight and keep it that way. The entire administration now is based on not proficiency, not professionalism, but loyalty. Loyalty.
But to your point, that's Trump, right? And let's say he can't run again. So Now you're just talking about whether someone is going to espouse the Republican platform or the Democrat platform, right?
I don't think it's as simple as I was misled. I think you wanted to believe a thing. I think that you didn't care who it hurt as long as it wasn't you. And if it were brown and black people, all the more better for it. You know what's interesting? 2 weeks ago when I was on, 3 weeks ago I was on, you and I and Charles were talking about how Bill Maher was saying, oh, the tariffs didn't hurt anybody and I drive down my street. 3 days later, the jobs report came out and it talked about the people it hurt. When he goes to D.C. and he takes over the city under the pretext.
Hey, man, it's nothing I can do. There's black people that think that D.L. Hughley is very intelligent. There are people that you see a D.L. Hughley video, you look in the comment section, you'll see a lot of black women say how smart D.L. Hughley is. I think they're unwell. I don't think they listen to what he's saying. D.L. Hughley is a moron. He just is, man. I wish it wasn't true. I remember he was the fourth funniest person on the Kings of Comedy. And I remember the joke about the wrench around and wrench it off, and the rag on the nightstand, the rough rag on the. I remember these jokes. He hasn't told jokes in a long time, but he's not funny. It's sad what he's saying. Look, man. But the thing I want to get to is none of that. None of that is what I want to say. My point to this clip is this. As black Americans, you know what we need to do? We need to do exactly what D.L. Hughley is saying that the white people did. Because that's what he's saying. He's saying white people vote for themselves. Who else you supposed to fucking vote for, dude? That's the fucking problem with the Democrats now. That's what's problem with the liberals. That's what's wrong with you corporate sellouts. Because really, D.L. Hughley doesn't have a political IQ. What he has is the best interest. And his best interest is to stay friends with the people with the money. And those people with the money are the liberals. That's what D.L. is doing. D.L. Hughley is staying attached to the bag. Anybody that doesn't get that by now is slipping. But black Americans need to adopt the attitude. The attitude like, what's in it for us? All other groups vote their best interest. Black people have been led around by the nose, and I should say, led around by their hearts. They want us to be bleeding hearts for everybody except ourselves. Yeah, when I'm talking about immigration, that's a self-preservation. That for me, I work doing this. I do this. I'm not really impacted by that in my work, not in my career, right? I'm not impacted by someone taking my job because of immigration or having to compete with somebody for lower wages. I don't work a wage job. All right, so I'm on that shit because I believe I'm talking about my kids, my grandkids, my friends, my neighbors. I'm talking about my community when I stand on business. That's not what DL's doing. DL's standing on parties. Black Americans need to adopt this attitude that D.L. Hughley is saying that the white Americans have. And that attitude is worried about self. He's calling it selfishness. We should all be selfish with our politics. We should vote the politics that best benefits our lives, that best puts us in a situation. What black Americans have been doing wrongly, what we've been failing to do, what we've been doing this wrong is we've been listening to people like D.L. Hughley. They've been gaslighting us, telling us everybody else's problems, and not talking about our shit. What about voting for our problems? What about voting for our issues and our concerns? D.L. wants to hang people out to dry who voted for Trump, and he's saying they voted for him selfishly. What about what he's doing to black people? Yeah, what's he doing to black people? What's he doing? Did you have the same smoke when he was under Biden about what Biden is doing? And even if that's the case, even if you talk about jobs numbers, employment numbers, fam, a lot of people lost their jobs under Biden. A lot of people lost their jobs, fam. I don't know what you're talking about. There was a lot of jobs that went away that never came back. Well, but we could go all the way back. There were a lot of homes that were lost under Obama that people lost homes and never got homes again. A lot of black people were grossly impacted by the Wall Street stealing, and none of those fuckers went to jail. And it was Obama in office and Biden as vice president. And what are we talking about? And what I'm saying is we can always go back and forth about what president let you down in what way. All people can do is vote their best interest. If your best interest is someone else's best interest, I don't think you got any problems in your life. Which ties me back to what I was saying earlier. If you missed it, guys, look, if you don't need to be focused on things, how they impact you, and you have the liberty, you have the room to be worried about the next person, great. That means you don't have problems. Next. But see, black community does have problems. Less black Americans own their own home today than we did in the 60s. Fact. Why are we operating as if it's the opposite? Why are we operating as if we're killing it? No, we need to be focused on ourselves. What things were D.L. Hughley fighting for us to have? Nothing. D.L. Hughley and the elite blacks and those connected to the Democratic Party were fighting for their friend to get elected so that they could do well, so that they could continue to grow, so that their team would win because opportunities would open. You know, D.L.'s ass would have been at that fucking White House every other month if Kamala was there. Who knows what he would be hosting for her? Who knows what he would be doing? Same thing goes for all the rest of them. If you don't believe there was an ulterior motives behind all that shit, fam, just look at the trackers of all the houses that went up for sale, all the leases that were canceled in the D.C. area when she lost. They were picking out drapes, Johnson. They believed that 100 days was all it was going to take with no real plans to get you to vote in Kamala Harris. And when you did not, they punished us all for it. Vote your best interest. D.L. Hughley's right, but he's wrong. His advice, he should be saying the opposite to black America. He should be saying, we need to vote our best interest. We need to be selfish and focus on our problems. If you're sitting on the bottom in the hierarchy, if you're the ones with the highest unemployment, you're the ones with the shortest life expectancy, you're the ones with the higher incarceration rates, you're the ones with the higher foreclosure rates, you're the one with the most homeless rates, highest homeless rates, then we're the ones we should be focused on. But we're not. We're looking over here going, we got to help the people that want to use the pronouns and the people that want to use the bathrooms. And we got to help the people that want to come from other countries and come here and get a new job because they can make money over there or whatever their situation is. Or maybe they just like our Netflix channel selection. And whatever. Not making much sense. D.L. Hughley's got it wrong. God help us. I hope we can finally get it right and recognize the game. The game is everybody else is voting their best interest. Them Somalis in Minnesota voted their best interest. Okay? Conservatives, they're voting their best interest. That's why he's mad at them. Their best interest. Or their culture issue best interest. Whatever that is. They make a decision based on what's on the table, what's important to them. We need to do the same thing. All right, guys. Let's keep it moving. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section, man. This is important. I really want to know if this is making sense because I thought about this, and I said, you know what? I don't want to make this all about DL. I want to make it about the broader point. And the broader point is, and it's a question: are Black Americans focused enough on themselves in our problems? I'm not saying we can solve everything by ourselves, But if we can focus on our problems and not making everybody else our our problems be their problems, then maybe we'd be closer to some solutions. At least then we know who to go with, what to support. We don't have to like people. We just have to find solutions for our problems. We don't have to want to have dinner or beer, eat a meal with them, kick it with them, go to the movies. None of that is important. They don't even need to look like us. They don't need to look like us. Nothing. They don't need to listen to our, we don't give a shit what's on their playlist. We need to stop being played. We don't need symbols, we need solutions. Holla if you hear me.
They saw him win an election. They saw what happened then. They saw him try to overthrow the government, and they still did it the third time. Come on now. Third time's a charm. We're not talking about people. All those people, a great deal of those people made this mistake 3 times. Who the hell makes a mistake 3 times? When 3 times is on purpose.
It is the moment many of you have been waiting for months. The return of America's aunt, my Aunt Gloria. She is here to give us her unfiltered take on everything as only as she can. Aunt Gloria, welcome back.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoy y'all show.
Thank you.
I have to say it.
All right, so we don't have a whole lot of time. So we haven't had you on in a long time. Just your assessment of President Trump in the administration 11 months in.
Fam. I mean, don't tell me, fam, there ain't room. Don't tell me there ain't room for some new blood in MS now, man. Do you see this shit? This is the actual segment that went across the airwaves. These mofos ain't got nothing to talk about at all. It's so bad. They are so bad. They are so lacking of anything important to say in news. Dude went and got his aunt and said, you come on the show and tell us what you think about politics. Not the aunt that used to work at the Chamber of Commerce. Not the aunt that, started a Boys and Girls Club and does a community outreach and has been doing so for 50 years. And it's put generation after generation of kids through college and spearheads this, 501c, whatever that does it. No! Just his aunt. Right? That's his aunt, right? Just somebody he's related to. It's like, come on in. Yeah. I mean, that's how bad they're doing over there. They just make shit up. Fam.
I don't understand how someone with so much hate could be president. He hates everything. He hates everybody. He is not qualified to be president, and none of his staff is qualified. And what that hate is generating is more hate.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Very well said. Glad I told you to say it. Fantastic. I'm not going to roast Grandma. I'm not going to roast Aunt Gloria. I'm not going to do it, man. I'm going to roast you, K-Part. 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 It's one thing to suck at your job, dude. And you do. You suck at your job, but it's another thing to be this bad. Yeah, this is beyond not doing a good job. This is total lack of respect at all for people. I'd like to know, fam, I'd like to know who is Jonathan Capehart sleeping with at MSNBC? How did he survive the axe? How did he survive? How did he keep his show? Who's watching this shit? Capehart, tell the truth, man. How'd you do it? How'd you get this job and keep this job? You know what? I can't believe that Rachel Maddow Oh, I can't believe that Joy Reid. I can't believe that Joy Reid is not pissed that this guy kept the show and she didn't. I mean, Jesus Christ. Joy Reid did something to piss everybody off because there is no reason. I mean, come on, guys. Say what you want to say about Joy Reid. She was 1,000 times more effective and better at news shit than Jonathan Capehart. Jonathan Capehart, if Joy Reid woke up one day and she had the on-screen effectiveness of Jonathan Capehart, she'd jump out a fucking window. You know it, I know it. Capehart is horrible. What is this? LGBTQ privilege? What is this? If it's not that, if I'm wrong, say it. But there are talented people. He is no Don Lemon. He is no Anderson Cooper. They're gay. Capehart just sucks. He just does. Let's keep going, fam. I'm saying. What is it?
I see people who shooting people just for road rage. You know, it's getting crazy. Don't understand why anybody would vote for someone who's never had a regular job, doesn't have any idea of what people are going through.
That sounds like he's talking about Ma'am Dommy. I like her. That sounds like that's what she's talking about. No, he's a business person. Trump's a business person. He doesn't have regular jobs. Neither did George Bush. Bush didn't have a regular job. Neither did Ronald Reagan. You know what I'm saying? Obama. Nobody. That's the problem with talking points. They make you look fucking dumb. I mean, that's true. But when Jonathan gave them to you, I mean, come on. We're going to act like he didn't tell her what to say. Come on, man. Because she can come on here and start talking about knitting or something. The average 80-year-old person is going to talk. Who knows what she's going to say? You know? But folks, it's just, to me, it's like the audacity that you would be like, hey, let's go bring my aunt on the show and just spend a good few minutes just asking her what she thinks about people, politicians, that she doesn't know anything about. Let's have her talk about it. Yeah, road rage. Yeah, we hold Trump responsible for a lot of shit, but people cutting people off and then shooting them, that's kind of out of his purview. It's kind of not on him. That has to do with the asshole who shot the person who, whatever. You know what I'm saying, Grandma? I mean, Aunt Gloria? Come on. But, damn.
Who'd never been to a shopping center or anything, but he's a rich boy who you make a president. How is that going to help anyone?
Yeah. You talked about
yeah, she just said, hey, we gotta get her off the mic, goddammit. Say something. Say something, Al Green Jr. Come on now, Smokey. You gotta say something, man. Come on now. Come on, Michael Irving. Julius Irving's son with a wig. Say something, cuz. Damn. And that's just gone after the rich people. That's when they pulled the plug. It's like, look, we got to get in here. Get in here. Come on. Get in there. Say something quick. Let's see what he says.
Him not being a regular person. When you're talking to your friends and, you know, the base of the Democratic Party and maybe even some people who voted for Trump this time around, are they telling you, like, what are they saying about the economy? Because I think that's the thing that is most key to whether or not, you know, Republicans hold on to the House and whether or not Donald Trump continues to.
Hey, okay, guys. I gotta make a confession. I was wrong. Jonathan Capehart is bad. This guy's worse than Jonathan Capehart. This guy is past, like, if Jonathan Capehart is bad, this guy is he's like worse than that. I mean, come on now. This is bad. Like, I'm not the only one that thinks that, right? Obviously, they hired these two clowns to not be good at what they do. It's like this was, somebody got caught doing something and somebody's got some blackmail footage or something. Somebody got some P. Diddy tapes on somebody. There is no reason why these two guys got a show together. You know what I feel bad for? I feel bad for the Latina woman. The Latina in there. She's on this show and she's like, what did I do to earn this shit. Horrible, family. Even Aunt Gloria's like, what the fuck is she talking about? My friends didn't vote for Trump. He's like, you're a part of the demographic that the old black people that just vote blue anywho. Yeah, this is demographic. But he said they voted for somebody that probably voted for Trump. Yeah, whatever. Look at Aunt Gloria's face.
Have his poll numbers going.
What's she gonna know about poll numbers, Johnson? She know nothing at all about poll numbers.
Down is the economy. What are normal folks telling you about the economy?
Basically, everybody's concerned.
What the hell do normal folks know about the economy? Normal people don't know anything about the economy. Well, they know, you should be asking her how the prices looking. When you go to the grocery store and you're picking up, are you ending up with less food than before or more food? Are you able to put more in your cart? How are the prices at the grocery store? How about getting your car tuned up? How about the gas pump? These are questions you're supposed to ask, Goofy. Not what does she think about the economy? How the hell would she know? She's just regurgitating whatever shit she heard you guys say. Because she doesn't fucking know. And you know what? A lot of you don't know either. Yeah, a lot of you don't know. You live in a bubble. Talking about Trump live in a bubble. You think Jonathan Capehart's not living in a bubble? Jonathan Capehart, him and his husband, live in a very gated community, away from the blacks. And that's what his friend here, Shylights, I'm sure Shylights wants to also live in a gated community, away from the peoples, the poors. So come on, fam, let's not pretend like, but once again, folks, I just want to remind you, this is what talent people, the talent people, what do you call it, the people that hired, someone hired them. Someone hired and put this show together. And they get paid money. Not that yang money either, real money to do this shit. Man, greatest country in the world, ain't it? That you could be as bad as these two guys, these two stooges, you could possibly be this bad and still make money. If this was a YouTube channel, nobody'd watch it. But it's on a network where there's old people that can't find their remotes and turn, even if they wanted to. When they get tired of watching some shit, they lose interest, they just go to sleep. Fuck looking for that remote. That's the only way this stays on. I don't care what you say. That's the only reason why they have any viewership.
You really, in a lot of places, you can't even afford to own a place or rent a place to live. Yeah. And if there's so much homelessness, you can worry about the drugs, the mental health, and everything. But if people don't have a place to call home, they're going to continue to use the drugs, whether you stop them from coming in the United States or they just make their own.
What is she talking about? People going to make their own drugs? Nah, man, so why y'all put Aunt Gloria out here like that? If they put the camera on them, that everybody is running. They are running like, what are we going to do? Capehart.
I think a lot of people are really concerned that children can't find a place to stay because they can't afford it. Whether they went to college or not, they can't afford to leave home. And that, is terrible. But it's everybody's.
Oh, poor baby. Why y'all put her on TV like this? She don't know what the fuck to say. She ain't got no talking points. Just throw out random stuff. If you didn't get, even if you stop the drugs from coming in the country, people, they don't have no place to stay, so they're going to make their own drugs. Why y'all put her out there like that? You should be ashamed of yourself. Look, man, I'm on her side now. You don't do this to friends. You don't do this to family. You damn sure don't do it to Aunt Gloria. What'd she do to you, Jonathan? Walk in on you at some point and chastise you? Then you going to hell. You're going to hell, boy. What are you doing with that other boy? You going to hell. You like, one day I'm going to get him back for embarrassing me with my friend. Yeah, now you got this big job on MS Now. I know what I'll do. I'll bring her up to the show and humiliate her in front of the whole world. Hey, it had to be a plan, Johnson. Because this is going too bad not to be on purpose.
It's concerned. You know, I left home when I was 18. I've been on my own ever since.
Gloria been out in them streets. Yeah, Auntie Gloria been out in them streets, y'all. Auntie Gloria been in the streets, making it, dropping it like it's hot. Bear, 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 bear. Push it, girl, push it. Push it. Push it. Yeah, push it real good. And what she know about, she said people make their own drugs? Mm-hmm. Gloria was out there, it's out there. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. She was out there. Wooly Wooly got a pair of my sneakers. What that worry got them because they hit him behind the speakers. The object of your affection is the T-top connection, or basically your love for smoking. Woo. Crack, man, they crack kids. They come up to my door. I don't sell drugs, so what they knocking for? You know it. You know it. Auntie Gloria been getting it for quite some time. You let this woman do this and fail like this on TV, embarrassing everybody at the church. Oh, they gonna be roasting her ass. Boy, this is bad, man. They just put her out there to stew her in the water. You know, like they do babies, so white ladies throw their babies in the pool. The baby be just kicking and just trying to survive. Look at him, he's doing well. He's everything in his body's trying to live. And you just want to throw him and see if he'll die. You just throw him in the water to see if he'll find a way to live, survive. It's like a cruel, cruel thing for your pleasure to watch him kick and somehow make it to the edge. Well, that's exactly what K-Pot's doing to his aunt. Aunt Gloria is kicking like a toddler, kicking like a 1-year-old in the pool. Boy, these liberals are tough, man. You do that to your aunt.
Now for 18-year-olds to leave home, they can't afford a place to stay. So you're going to end up...
You afforded a place to stay when you was 18. Who was you with, Aunt Gloria? You're leaving a lot out the story. How'd you afford a place to stay at 18? What'd you do? JoJo Dancer, your life is calling. You ain't go to Peoria, Illinois, did you?
A lot of homelessness. And I don't like the fact that people are not concerned. People are concerned. They came up when they thought the EBT would not be there. People start giving out food. But most of my friends, they're really concerned. They're concerned about their children and the future.
Aunt Gloria, I'm so glad to be able to finally talk to you myself. I want to mine you for some of these pearls of wisdom as deep as possible. Something you said I think is so smart and prescient, which is that we are living in this anger culture. And I think Donald Trump might be the godfather of this swirl of anger and resentment that we're seeing. What are your tips to Americans on how to avoid surrendering to the anger and resentment that we're seeing?
Find a place of peace. Everybody needs a few minutes of peace every day. I think a lot of people are so busy trying to keep up and traffic and everything that you got to find some time for peace. I don't care if it's just sitting at a park 5 or 10 minutes, but you cannot keep going at this pace without people breaking down. And I see it a lot every day, people shooting each other just because of road rage.
What is up with Aunt Gloria and the road rage? Is Aunt Gloria, she have an anger management problem? Because all she talk about is road rage. Like road rage is a scourge on our society. Is there an epidemic of people getting killed on the roads? Is that what's happening? I thought it was drunk drivers or fentanyl overdoses. No, it's the road rage. Aunt Gloria, you know you ain't had a license in 10 years. What are you talking about? You know you get chauffeured around by Uber. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Or either Jonathan, because Jonathan ain't got no kids. He just hire you a driver. I know he can afford it, all that money. He been with MSNBC for 30 years, doing mediocre news. Man, you know what, man? I'm gonna leave Aunt Gloria alone, man. The Latino woman tried to take some of the heat off of Grandma, though, didn't? Off Aunt Gloria. I keep calling her Grandma. Try to take some heat off Aunt Gloria. You know, you're not supposed to do family like that, man. Throw them in the big water and just walk away and see if they can make it to the edge. That is bad. You ain't supposed to do that, man. No respect for our elders. All right, folks, that's all I got. Look, this is the Timberlake Show. Thank you for tuning in. We okay over here in the chat room? Anybody, what? Am I the only one that thought this was bad taste? I mean, it was funny, but then it got to the point where it was like sad that you put somebody on camera, she don't know what to say. Like, you don't just put people, you just say, just talk, just make up shit. Nah, that's not good. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That was a mess, Johnson. Now, for some people, this would be a chance of a lifetime. Chance of a lifetime to be on TV and talk about politics. But not if you're not a politician talker. Not if you're not a commentator. You don't just put random people up and be like, what do you think about the economy? I mean, most people would never ask anybody that. You don't even ask people that are in politics, what do you think about the economy? You know, you ask them like real questions that regular people could know, like pertinent, more focused questions. Like, what'd you think about the prices of eggs? Trump was talking about reducing the price of eggs. What have you noticed at the grocery store? Like, real questions, but K-pop was like, fuck it. We're just gonna... He was like, he didn't care, man. I'm trying to tell you, man, I don't think K-pop love her like that. I just don't. Because I wouldn't have done that to nobody in my family, Johnson. Nah, I wouldn't have done that to nobody in my family. I would have put my brother or my sister or my nieces. I would have done that. Nah, I wouldn't have done that. But y'all, or my aunt, I got an Aunt Peggy from Winchester, Virginia. You cannot, Peggy would have put my hand up. Right, Peggy? Peggy be like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Peggy would not play that shit at all. But her and my mom would be giving me an earful if I did some shit like put Peggy on TV and then give her the easy softball questions. Ask her what she think of the economy. First of all, Tim, it's effed up out here. That's what I think of the economy. Let me get my wine right. You calling me about, I need to get my, hold on a second. Yeah, this talk. See that, you know. That's all I got. All right, fam, check it out. We're live here Mondays, Wednesdays, Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got the best moderators in the business. I have Black Mamba, Buck Bewley, and Ebony holding it down for me. Say hello to them. Thank them for their hard work, their support. And here's the thing, guys. Go to jointimberlake.com, become a member. It'd be good to do. It's the beginning of the month. Start it off by being a paid member, a VIP member of this show. We're dangerous, and we can use your help to stay dangerous. All right, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow. No, that's tomorrow. I'll see you Wednesday. Yeah, we'll be back on Wednesday with more content. Yeah. You've been watching the most dangerous show in America. Don't let anybody take your cornbread, Johnson. That's your cornbread. Now, everybody's got reasons for what they do. Here goes a whole bunch of mine in this video. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all soon.